Hi, you're welcome to my channel. So today we're going to be drafting, cutting and sewing a long wrap dress. Okay, it's an interesting one, so sit tight and enjoy it. Okay, so I'll be starting with the basic bodice. With drafting the starting with the bust point. You measure down your bust point and the waistline. Okay, so there's no breast cut here, so I won't be marking out the under bust. Okay, so bust point and the waistline. Okay, and remember the pattern paper is on fold. Okay, so now I'm going to drag both up and down together. Okay, so from the waistline now, I will now measure the hip line, the distance from the waist to my hip. Whatever your own is, you measure it. Could be 12 or 13 inches. Okay, depends on the measurement you're working with. So also from the waistline now, okay, I'm going to measure we'll measure the gown knee length. Gown knee length from your shoulder down to your knee length. So from the actual knee length, I will now measure 3 inches up so that it can fall above the knee. Okay, so normally I'll measure the exact knee length, then I'll go up by 3 inches to be above the knee. Then I'll measure the full length again also. Okay, so that's why we have a very long paper here, a long pattern paper here. Okay, so I'm just trying to rule out the nail line here. And I'll label it. Okay, so coming up, I'll measure the neckline. I'm using the 3 inches for the neck width and the shoulder 7 plus half for ease. Then shoulder slope, I'll come down by 1 inch from the shoulder for the shoulder slope. Then I'll fix in my armhole, which is your bust round divided by 6 plus 1.5. So that is it. And you roll it out and create the armhole just like this. Then I'll measure this whole armhole, the length, divide by 2, come in by 3/4 inch. In order to have a perfect or a smooth curve for the front armhole. But for the back, you're not going to come in by 3/4. Then for the neck width now for this dress, I'll be marking 4 inches. Then for the neck depth, you might measure this or you might not. You'll see the reason later. So I just choose to go with a neck depth of about, I think I measure 8. Okay, that one now is the chest line. So for the neck depth, you decide how deep you want the V-neck to be. So you can see this now. You decide the type of V you want. Then I just connect it to the chest line. You know it's overlap. So the whole thing will still overlap. So I fix in 1/4 of my bust round plus 2 inches for seam allowance. Then on the waist also 1/4 of the waist round plus 2 inches for seam allowance. Then there will be that on the waistline also. So you're going to add 1 inch for the dart allowance. Then on the hip line, you fix in 1/4 of your hip round plus 2 inches. There's no dart allowance on the hip. Okay. Then whatever you have on your hip line, you bring it down to your knee length also. Your hip round divided by 4. Whatever you have, you bring it down. Then if you want some shape, that's why I came in by about 1.5 inches or 2 inches on the knee length. If you want this dress to be shapy, okay, you want it to look like a pencil dress. That was the reason for this coming in on the knee line. But this is the wrapper. So I cancel this shape. Let it just calm down like a normal straight dress. Okay, so whatever I have on the knee, on the hip round, I just bring it down to the knee length and also take it to the full length like that. If it were to be normal pencil skirt, you can come in by some inches. So now I'll now connect the hip line also. You can see I've cancelled that out. Then you connect the hip line to the waist. That's just what I just did now. Okay, then I'm going to mark out my dart placement, the position of my dart. That's bust to bust distance. Okay, then I'll come down to bust point. Come down by 2 inches from your bust point. From your bust point, come down by 2 inches and connect it to the waistline. That's how to create the dart for the front. Then for the down part, it's a scale, so you decide how long you want it to be. So I think I use about 6 inches. That should be okay. Then the same bust to bust distance, that's what I use for the location. So this is what we have. So I will be using the same pattern to cut out the back. So I will just mark the neck depth for the back. You know the neck width is going to be the same. So I think I use about 2 or 3 inches for the back. Then the armhole for the back also. So I said we are not coming in by 3/4 inch. It's just to create a curve. Then, so the colored blue is for the back, as you can see. So now we won't just go ahead like this. We need to cut out the upper part from the lower part. Then when we are done, we'll join it together. Okay, so now we just want to cut out the back. So I added some inches. I think yeah, but later I trim it out or something. But just use a paper to cut out the exact measurement. I guess maybe my paper was not enough for the allowance, so I added the remaining ½ inch on the fabric, something like that. So that's the back. So now we'll go on and cut out the front part now. So you can see now I've opened it up. So now we need to create the wrap. So this is the whole front pattern. So we're going to connect that neckline down to the other side. So I mark out the dart line. So it depends on where you want the wrap to stop. It can stop at the second dart, in between the dart and the side seam, or you just take it to the side. Please just watch it carefully. So initially I was thinking I should raise that side a bit and connect the neckline there so that I can attach my belt to that part. But after drawing out the line, I wasn't comfortable with the way the line looks. Okay, so if I'm to use a straight ruler the way I do in my previous videos, this is what I usually do. I'll just connect it from the neckline down. So we wanted to create another style, just trying to do another twist instead of just doing the same thing over and over. But still, it didn't give me what I was looking for, so I have to take it to the extreme end. You can see at that point, like that. Then I'll now create it this way, blend it. So this is what it looks like. So I need to cancel out the first one I drew. So I prefer this second look. Okay. And this is perfect. So go ahead and cut it out. So this is the part we are using to cut the wrap dress. Then we'll fold our fabric just like this. The fabric will be on fold, and you cut this out. So this is the skirt part. Okay, it's on fold also. So I already used the pattern, the exact pattern, to cut out the front pieces. So now I want to cut out the back of the skirt. That's the down part of this tutorial, the down part of the dress. So I will use the front to trace out the back. So I already have a straight line at the center back. You know the back now. So this is it. No, there's not going to be zip, but I need to leave some inches behind. So the actual line I'm starting with is the part marked with the yellow line. I hope you can see that straight line. That's my starting point. But I want to do some shaping to the back. So at the center back now on the waist, I came in by 3/4 inch. So I will blend this 3/4 inch of the waist to somewhere around the hip, just like done. So I'm just measuring to make sure to mark out my hip line. So I'll connect it this way. Okay. So now on the hip line now, on the knee line, I went in by 1 inch. On the knee line at the center back, I went in by 1 inch, and I also connect that part to my hip line. So from the knee line, that 1 inch, I will now trace it down. You can see that 1 inch, I trace it down. So this is just to give your back view some good looking fittings. Okay. So assuming there's going to be zipper at this part now, I will now add 1 inch zipper allowance. So this 1 inch could have served as this 1 inch I'm rolling out with my blue chalk could have served as zipper allowance. But in this case now, there's not going to be a zipper. So I'll be using that 1 inch as my joining allowance. I hope you understand. So since the center back is in two pieces now, I have to join it. So I'll be joining it with this 1 inch allowance that I just added. So you can see the shape at the center back. Okay, so that is it for the back. Remember, it's on fold. So, and that is it. So now for the front, so you can see I have to cut two different pieces for the front, and each one is on fold. You know, it's a complete wrap dress, a complete wrap from up to down. So I have to cut the front pattern in the front part two pieces, and each piece is on fold. Please remember that. So this is the front. We'll cut out the fabric. You can see, and it's in two pieces, the same size. So for the back now, I went on to cut out the lining the same way, and I attached the lining, and also the front. I sew the dart, and also I attached the lining and sew the dart and iron. So you see the way I place it. So you're going to arrange it firmly. You decide which parts, how you want the overlap to be, which side to be on top. So it's going to look like this, and that is it. And for the skirt now, so the front skirt, so we'll still cut out the lining and attach the lining to it. Cut the line exactly the way it is with the fabric. You can see what I mean. So I have two front pattern. Okay, two front pieces. I hope you understand. So now this is how it's going to be. One piece from the upper part is going to be attached to, yes, each upper part has its own skirt for the front. Okay, and this is the second one. We'll do the same thing to it. So that's just to explain it that each pieces of the upper part has its own lower part. So this is the back. I've stitched the middle of the back. I've joined it. So this is it. So we have excess on the skirt part because of the same allowance on the this thing. The same allowance is still there. So by the time we join the whole thing, it will rhyme. So this is what I have for the front. So remember, when you're attaching your lining, it has to be neatly attached. Your seam allowance, your joining allowance should be covered, because when you open up your dress, you don't want people to see the rough inside. Okay, so now I've joined the two front pattern together for the front, and this is the upper part. I've joined the back and the front together at the shoulder. You can see, so I'm going to attach it. So I've attached the upper part to the down part. You can see. So when you're attaching the down part, the center back will be at the middle. Then at each end on both sides, you now attach each one of the front. I hope it makes sense. So I attach a long rope to it. You can see where I attached the rope for easy tying. Okay. So at the side seam before the waist, I so I left about 2 inches or 1.5 inches open at the side seam. You can see. Okay, so I left it open at both sides. This is for the passage of the rope. You can see, for the passage of this rope, in order to be able to tie it properly at the waist. Okay, so this is what it looks like. I hope you find this helpful. Okay, so feel free to share your opinion in the comment section, and please remember to give this video a thumbs up. This is very important. And if I yet to subscribe to my channel, please subscribe. Okay, so I went ahead to fix my circle sleeve on it also. I have a video on how to cut a circle sleeve, very good one. So this is the dress. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Thank you. Bye.